Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Wargaming 2022 here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to be talking about a variety of topics, including JD Vance, Trump, a Trump rally that was here in Ohio last night, a couple other things, some 2A related stuff and whatnot, what have you. So basically, we're going to start with that actually, 2A stuff. So I went to a event last night where the one thing I dislike a lot about the state of Ohio in general is when you have the anti-gun bias of places that refuses to protect your interest or refuses to protect your life outside of, you know, their business or whatever it is there. Because my sister's friend was holding a party last night. It was a book launch for a book she and her sister had written, and the venue that was chosen for the thing, I didn't realize this till after we had been there for a while, and I'd walked out the door and walked back in the door, that apparently it was the whole thing on there about like, oh, no weapons beyond this point, and da 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 da, and all this other bullshit like that. And I'm just like, well, first of all, motherfuckers, and I love how it was like per the Ohio Revised Code, and it's like you realize that in the last just over 3 months, the Ohio Revised Code has changed right now to where constitutional carry is now the fucking norm in the state, and the fact that you were infringing upon mine and everyone else's constitutional right to keep and bear arms within this place, to where if some fucking maniac decided to come in there and commit a massacre, commit atrocities, you're just disarming the good people from being able to shoot back, is what it is, dude. And I was like, nah, you know what? Fuck these people. Like, I'm gonna do what I'm fucking gonna do, man. Because at the end of the day, honestly, all those fucking signs are is a goddamn piece of paper. The only places, and I'm gonna straight up say this right now, dude. The only places that I personally will not, that I will disarm for, would be any federal building, any courthouse, anything like that is what it is, dude. Where I could actually be catching like federal charges is what it is. But other than that, like, nah, bro. Like, if I don't have to be unarmed, I won't be unarmed, dude. And that's the big thing. And it's like my thing of it is like I said, if you're gonna have business like that, event venue, whatever it's gonna be, that's gonna sit there and put up bullshit signs like that and be all like, oh, but we're not actually going to have armed security at this event for you or whatever the case be. It's like, well, then fuck you and fuck your sign, dude. And the thing of it is, like, again, if you're constitutionally carrying, carrying legally concealed, they don't fucking know that you're carrying, dude. Like, nobody does, honestly. And that's the great thing about concealed carry and constitutional carry, honestly, dude, is that, unless you were to go up to somebody and be like, hey, do you think I'm armed? And they'd be like, maybe. And like show it to them that you actually are, like nobody's gonna fucking know that, dude. Honestly. And so my thing is, it's like, especially after last year with the house being robbed and stuff like that, like I will never, never, now that constitutional carry is legal, leave my house unarmed, dude. Like there's always gonna be a gun someplace in my vicinity, if not on me, almost always. And again, like I said, it depends on where exactly I'm going and stuff like that, if I would have to like disarm or whatever the case be, but it's still gonna be, if it would be like, say like I go to like a doctor's appointment or something like that, it would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go in the place. The people that are with me that are waiting in the car are gonna be armed in the car, is what it's gonna be, dude. So anyway, it's a whole thing. And like I've said before, it's like it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, if you're gonna put up, bullshit things about like, oh, you can't be armed here, whatever the case be, it's like, well, then you better damn well have like a cop or some kind of security officer or something like that there, dude, that's armed to be a protector for if something happens. And even then, who's gonna like seriously, if you're gonna be some fucking maniac out there, going around and doing all kinds of crazy shit, who's going to be the first person that you're going to take out in any kind of situation like that? It's going to be the person that is, armed, whether it be them looking like a cop or whatever it is, or whatever the case be, man, or an armed security guard or whatever it is. It's going to be the person that can take you down, take you out, etc., dude. And that's the thing. Like, when it comes to concealment, when it comes to being a concealed carry person when it comes to being constitutional carrying and stuff like that, that's where you can get them from the drop and stuff, dude, because it's like they don't know that you're armed because you're not open carrying is what it is. And that's the thing. Like I know for a fact, like even when I was, before this is before constitutional carry thing in Ohio, having to open carry was a fucking pain in the dick, dude. It really was. And it basically goes down to the fact that you have to go and find like holsters that fit properly and like all kinds of other stuff that works well and stuff like that. Versus now, you can have like a, you know, pocket holster. You can have something else for that matter. You can have like a like sort of like a clip holster around your trigger guard only and stuff like that because they do sell several of those for different guns like Tauruses and stuff like that, and I think Glock also that they do one for Glock as well and stuff like that, and that's a few other guns like Sig and shit where it is you basically it's like a drawstring kind of thing or whatever you can put it around your belt, and it is a mechanism that basically locks around the trigger of the gun, and when you pull the gun from wherever it's concealed on your body in a pocket, whatever the case be, um, that's when it like basically the string that's attached to yanks it back and pulls it off basically. So while you're drawing it out, it's getting like yanked. The actual trigger guard is getting yanked off then, and then you can be able to pull up and if you have to use your gun in deadly force encounter, you're ready to go. Is what it is. So I'm definitely gonna pick one of those up one of these days. I think because even the fucking current holster that I have for doing pocket carries and stuff like that, it's not the greatest one. And the problem is really it's like the real issue with a lot of those too is that it's just like the bulk of it takes up either too much space or it doesn't want to sit properly, and so you're not all the time you're gonna have like your gun in a position where you'd be able to just grab it up basically, and it might like slip or something or slide or whatever the case be, and then you're just like fumbling around with shit. So yeah, it's not a good thing at all, man. But needless to say, like I said, I'm one of these people. It's like, yeah, it's a bunch of BS for these things to be like, oh, well, based on the revised code, and it's like, yeah, the revised code has changed, dude. So fuck your sign is what it is. Is what I say on that one. Like I said, unless it's gonna be like a federal place or something like that, where you could actually get like fucking federal government's trying to shove their dick up your ass is what it is then. But anyway, we were gonna talk about some of those stories though. Going to Breitbart here for a couple minutes. I had completely forgotten that last night there was a Trump rally for JD Vance there, which makes sense because again, most people probably did actually, and this is obviously what that piece of shit Tim Ryan was talking about the other day. It was all like, oh yeah, who the fuck schedules something when the Buckeyes are on and stuff like that. And of course, you had the Ohio State in prime time there is what he meant, obviously. And the thing is, like, the real issue I have with Tim Ryan, it's not, just one issue, obviously. Like, the latest issue was him going out there and talking about murdering people like myself, is what it is, dude, and still being allowed to run in this fucking race. And I'll tell you right now, I'm planning on calling up multiple members of the General Assembly this coming week because we're getting back to session here pretty quick and basically demanding, I don't know what they're going to have to do to get him off there, but like they need to fucking yank his ass off that fucking ballot for November, dude. Like, fuck that guy. He does not need to be in the Senate race anymore after this kind of shit, dude. Like, that should be the fucking final straw. Like, nah. Talking about murdering the fucking supporters of your political opponent, dude, like, you're done here, motherfucker, is what it is. And yeah, it's a bunch of shit entirely, dude. But anyway, so yeah, you had where was that now? Yeah, you had JD Vance at Trump rally. We need to hire Border Patrol agents, not 87,000 IRS agents. I thought that was pretty interesting. Another thing I thought was very interesting. My sister was talking about getting her booster this coming week. And of course, you have this story here about 3 in 10 Americans still refusing to get corona jabbies. So my thing is, I think that's just one of the polls they've done where people are willing to admit that is what it is. I guarantee it's a lot higher than 30%, dude. I would be willing to bet it's more like 50% of this country or more, maybe even 65 at this point, that refuse to get that shit, honestly, ever. And, as someone who had the stuff, and I mean, hell, we've all had it at one point or another, I believe. I remember about probably 3-ish years ago, give or take. It was like it was either the summer of 2019 or the spring of 2019, like early spring, late winter of 2019 there, where I got really, really sick, and I still couldn't figure, like, because I was just like I felt like complete shit, honestly. And like, honestly, looking back at it now, it was almost exactly verbatim the exact same fucking thing that happened when I end up getting what I know for a fact was Corona then, this past December of 2021, which was, it was basically, I was feeling fine. I felt fine. I was like, okay, I'm all good to go, whatever the case be. And then all of a sudden, it's just like out of fucking nowhere, it's just like slapping the fucking face, like, nope, kind of thing. And it's just like, you're done, bro. Like, and then I just felt like shit for like legitimately like a while, man. And it was a bad fucking deal, man. Like, I was seriously like violent, like I was like really, really bad off that day. And my thinking now is like, I think I had it back then, even. And as I've talked to other people about it and stuff in the last like few days and shit, they've all said they're like, yeah, I'm like 99% sure I had something back then too. And I think honestly, like I said, like there's no way that this shit wasn't in our society and in our country and stuff like that, like long before they fucking figured out what it actually was, is what it is, dude. And how can it not be? I mean, you think about it logistically, like just speaking, scientifically is what it is right now. When you have our borders, like not only our open border system in general there, where you have people just like floating into our country, undocumented every single day is what it is, dude. And they have like no even knowledge that they're even in their country is what it is at the time, because they're illegally jumping our borders and stuff like that. So you have all those people basically bringing whatever the fuck in then, potentially. And then not only that, but then you have all the international travel going on in our nation too, dude. And it's like, bro, like, you can't honestly sit here and tell me that, like, it's just like a movie Contagion, where it's some chick gets on a fucking plane, like catches something over in some fucking place or whatever the case be, gets on a fucking plane, infects a fuck ton of people and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, man, like, you're gonna have stuff like that happen all the fucking time is what it's gonna be. So you can't sit here and honestly tell me like people are gonna be perfectly fine and be able to, like, essentially like secure a fucking nation, or any nation for that. Like, it doesn't matter if it's America or any other nation for that matter, dude. It's like, no, unless you were gonna go into like hard fucking like lockdown. And I'm talking, when I say hard fucking lockdown, I mean like you knew for a fact that it was coming and stuff, and were able to like shut shit down like mid plane flights coming into your country and stuff like that, dude. To where it was like some infected people on the plane or whatever, and it's like, no, you cannot land in our country, and if you try to, like, you will be kind of shot down basically by like military and stuff. Like, unless it got to like that point and stuff, dude. Like, yeah, there's no way that you're fucking able to control that shit, dude. It's just impossible. And the thing of that is, it's like, because that's what I'm saying. When you have international travel, people coming in and out of America every single day, man, like, there ain't no way that you're controlling that shit. Like, it's gonna be like it's gonna be here before you would even know it, dude. And so for people to be like, oh no, it just suddenly sprung up in 2020, it's like, no, bro, that shit was here a long, long ass time before that. They're just willing to admit that in 2020 there was something, you know, and that's what it is. And I believe truthfully, like, the longer we go and the more people realize, like, what the fuck was up and sort of how they were swindled and shit like that, like, you're gonna find a lot more people that are just like, you know what, fuck the fucking government and fuck all the tyranny and stuff like that, dude. And that's why I'm surprised that there's still like a lot of sitting governors right now that haven't been, and this is something I was talking about people behind in back chats with a little bit ago, actually. And it's like, yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been like a bunch of governors right now, or ex-governors for that matter, like Andrew Cuomo and stuff like that, that have legitimately brought up on crimes against humanity charges at this point, dude. Because again, when you look at crimes against humanity, like, what are crimes against humanity? Crimes against humanity would be anything up to and including, you're actively like taking healthy people and like just like offing them and stuff like that, which is exactly what we saw in fucking New York and stuff like that over the past couple of years, dude. Where it was basically like old grandmothers, old grandfathers, etc. Being like, no, you guys got to be over here now, kind of thing, or whatever. And it's like, oh no, it can't be in this fucking thing or whatever. Like you're done here, and yeah, like it's just completely insane. It's completely disgusting. It's fucking sickening, and it's just people that have done everything that they possibly can to destroy our nation from the inside out, dude. And it's just like, damn, dude. And people are just gonna sit back and take it, and that's the worst part of it all, dude. Like, there has been a lot of people that just sat back and took it, and going and honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like they sat there and took it. It really is what it is, dude. But like, when you look at the just complete and total fear mongering of our society during that time, like my God, man. Like, I'm not surprised that people were freaked the fuck out when you have literal fucking media every single fucking day. And this is exactly why the media, by the way, needs to be held to account, needs to have their fucking feet put to the fire criminally as well, dude. Because when they're sitting there fucking fear-mongering people, even to this fucking day, by the way, and it's like local reporters being like, you gotta get your jabs, you gotta go get your fucking boosters, you gotta go, like, fuck you, man. Like, shut the fuck up, cunt. And that's the problem. It's so many of these fucking cunt-ass reporter women, dude, that just won't shut their goddamn mouths about this shit. And it's just like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, I get you're being paid to be fucking a piece of shit mouthpiece for the fucking, whoever owns the fucking media at this point, dude. Which I can only assume is like a bunch of fucking, like, obviously the one thing I have learned in the past few years now is it's like 6 giant corporations basically own the entire media is what it is, dude, or at least the mainstream media anyway. And it's like, well, first of all, when you have that shit being, to the point where you have the same fucking story being told over and over and over again by, thousands of fucking people, thousands of fucking reporters across the country, like, there's definitely something wrong. Like, something stinks and it's not right, man. Like, there's definitely some shady fucking shit going down right there. And my biggest problem with all of it is when you have people who don't want to wake up to that fact, when you have people who don't want to wake up and actually smell the fucking coffee is what it is, dude. And they just want to sit there and be willfully ignorant to the shit and whatever the case is, And it's like, bro, like, wake up. Seriously, like, wake the fuck up. Like, it's time to wake up now. And yeah, like, they just don't want to see it. And it's unfortunate, dude, because those tend to be the people that do, sort of cuck out to tyranny. And unfortunately, from what I've personally seen, it tends to be a lot of women, it seems like. It seems to be women more than men. And now, granted, I'm not going to say there's not, like, a bunch of beta male men and stuff like that that have also cucked out as well, dude, to tyranny and shit over the past few years. But, like, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot more chicks than it is dudes. And I think it's a lot more people that were just willing to be scared, be put into submission and stuff like that, and be like, okay, government tells me it's you gotta shut down shit. Like, okay, I guess I got, like, and the thing was, like, half the people that were working at the time, they're like, oh, you mean I get to stay home and work from home and not have to fucking put on a nice outfit to go to work and shit like that every day? Oh, hell yeah, bro. And then meanwhile, you had the people that were actually the mom and pop business owners and shit like that that were being told, like, no, you got to shutter your business because, you're not paying enough money to Big Daddy fucking government, which is what they did here in Ohio with that piece of shit DeWine. That's why I want his ass fucking gone from the governorship too, by the way. Not that that fucking cunt Nan Whaley's any better. She needs to be gone from the whole race entirely, actually. And that's exactly why in November I plan on voting for Pastor Neil Peterson here. And I suggest everybody else do the same thing, honestly. And we get Neil Peterson, an actual constitutionalist, in office then, dude, is what it is. But the entire point is that you had dickhead DeWine basically being all like, oh yeah, you mom and pop shops over here, you're not giving the state enough money in your taxation and stuff. We're going to go ahead and shutter your doors for the next 6 months and make you go out of fucking business permanently. Oh, Walmart and Target and fucking Sam's Club and shit like that. You guys are giving us millions and millions of fucking dollars and all kinds of corporate taxation and shit like that. Oh, hell yeah, you can remain open. Oh, yeah, just make sure your fucking employees are wearing masks all the time. And now we're going to import mask mandates and all this other bullshit. And it's like, go fuck yourself, you tyrant son of a bitch. 442 days of tyranny, people. Seriously, under Dickhead DeWine and over 450 days of tyranny in Dayton, Ohio, under that fucking piece of shit Nan Whaley when she was mayor there, dude. Neither one of these assholes should even be free at this point. They should both be sitting in jail rotting for the rest of their fucking days, dude. I am so sick of both these fucking people, dude. I really fucking am. And like I said, this is shit like this is exactly why I hate the entire establishment, dude. Because you had the people that were in power at the time who refused to do their fucking job, who refused to actually do the job that we assigned them to do, which would have been impeach the fucking governor, impeach the lieutenant governor, who were doing all kinds of criminal shit at the time, and take it down to whoever the next in line was after that. If that be Speaker of the House, if that be Senate President, whatever the case be, which I think technically the way Ohio goes, I believe it's Senate President is third, and then it would be Speaker of the House is fourth. And then eventually it's Secretary of State, and I believe it would be, I'm trying to think now. Yeah, it would be, let me think, Senate President, Speaker of the House, Secretary of State, and then it's either Auditor or Treasurer, I forget which one is which, in like 6 and 7, but the other one's like the other one in like the 7th shot, and then it would be, the AG would be the 8th in line of succession, or would be the 8th person in the line underneath the actual governor at the time. So it would be governor, lieutenant governor, Senate President, Speaker of the House. Let me think now. Auditor. Yeah, I gotta go back. Okay, so it'd be governor, lieutenant governor, Senate President, Speaker of the House, Secretary of State, either auditor or treasurer, and then it would be the opposite position there. So if it's the auditor as like 6th, it would be treasurer be 7th, or if it's treasurer is 6th, it would be auditor would be 7th, and then this AG is 8th in line. Or technically it'd be 7th in line underneath the governor, actually, because if you would get rid of governor, go lieutenant governor then. But yeah, it's like a whole thing. But the entire point I'm trying to make is that what you end up having is a situation of just complete and total fucking insanity is what it is, dude. You have these people who do not give a fuck about you, who do not give a fuck about this country, and who just want to basically rule over you. And the fact that people are still willing to this day to put up with that kind of bullshit, it's like, bro, like, what the fuck? And that's why I truly believe that, like, a lot of this shit is not only by design, it is definitely people not willing to wake up and realize that they're being fucking used, dude. That they're being used as pawns, that they're being used as fucking political tools, etc., etc. And it's sad. It really is, honestly. But anyway, now that we're done with that whole rant, we are going to go ahead and read some of this stuff here now. So, obviously, like I said, you had Vance talking at the Trump rally, said we need to hire Border Patrol agents, not 87,000 IRS agents. So the issue I have with that is, though, there's a video that came out about, I think it was a week or two ago now, maybe 3 weeks at most, and it's basically it's a video where you have, this is down in Texas at one of the border areas and stuff like that. You had a bunch of construction being done there where it was basically like gates and shit. And you had, I believe it was the Texas National Guard closing and locking a gate. And it was probably like 10, 15 illegals on the other side of it is what it was. And they're like, yeah, you're not welcome in the United States, dude. Like, go back to your fucking country of origin and stuff like that. Like, you're will be illegally entering this country is what it is, et cetera, et cetera. And then about 20, 30 minutes later, you had some Border Patrol agent down there, some CBD officer is what it was, who was like, hey, National Guardsman, give me the keys to this fucking gate. And the guardsman did. And the guy's like, okay, unlock the gate. Come on in, everybody. You're welcome in America now. And it's like, and that's the fucking people y'all want to hire? Like, come on, Vance. Like, seriously, bro. Now, granted, I'm not saying these are people he wants to hire. Like, I'm sure he want to hire, like, people who actually do their fucking job and don't let these people in their fucking country, hopefully. But, like, the entire point I'm trying to make is, though, it's like, this is the kind of shit that we're seeing, actually, dude. It's like, it's this kind of, you know, cuckery and butt fuckery is what it is, dude. Seriously. And it's like, I don't know about all y'all, man, but I don't like being fucking cucked or butt fucked. It is what it is, you know? So, anyway, but going on to read this actual article though, as I said here, and try to do a screen share on this. Hopefully, my internet will hold up here. But yeah, it said J.D. Vance Trump rally hired hired border patrol agents, 97,000 IRS agents. Said J.D. Vance, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate in Ohio, joined President Donald Trump on stage at a Save America rally on Saturday night and called for an increase in Border Patrol agents instead of IRS agents. As Trump called Vance to join him on stage, he noted that Vance is supported by all the bravest and boldest conservatives in the country, including Fox News host Tucker Carlson, Senator Josh Hawley, former Trump advisor Stephen Miller. Trump said the entire MAGA movement is for J.D. Vance, and when J.D. wins this race this November, you are going to hear wailing from every corporate newsroom in New York and Washington, and you're going to hear them crying. Are you going to hear crying Chuck Schumer howling with rage because Vance is going to clench the Senate for the Republicans? Hopefully that's true. Hopefully that's true, man. It said Vance joined stage, criticized his opponent, Tim Ryan, who should be thrown out of this race, by the way, for supporting Democrat policies. We are having a good, are we having a good time? Is it great to have the president back in Ohio? Here's the thing about this crazy lying fraud, Tim Ryan. His whole attack against me is that I'm out of state. I'm from California, even though the reason I left the state when I was 18 years old was to enlist the United States Marine Corps and go on to serve my country. And that is true, by the way. I'd like to point that one out. So if you actually, because I was watching the Hillbilly Elegy movie and stuff like that in the past couple of years after it came out here, and I'll tell you what, man, it really did invigorate me. It invigorated myself to want to run for office and stuff, dude, because it was a situation where it was like, yeah, you got this kid who in JD Vance, who I believe is actually a couple of months younger than I am, and he was basically, in a very similar situation to my own. I was raised by a single mother. You know, Obviously in my case, my father died. I think his father was like just a deadbeat or something like that. That's what it was. But yeah, the entire point is it's like, yeah, he and I had very similar like upbringings and stuff like that, and the only big difference was is that obviously my mother was not a drug addict, where his was, and he was raised by grandma and stuff like that. But yeah, like that dude went through like a whole bunch of shit in his childhood, dude, and he really is like what I consider to be like a blue collar type of dude is what it is, dude. To where he would be, if it wasn't for him being able to get into military and then eventually use, the GI Bill to go to college and stuff like that, he would be nothing now. And that's the one great thing about our nation and stuff like that, and the military and stuff like that, is that they allow you to have those kind of things so that you maybe can get ahead in life. That being said, should that be your main reason for going and joining the military? No, it should not be. And that also being said, you know, is college for everybody? No, not really. And I believe truthfully, unless you're going to go for like a very specified reason, there's really no reason to go to college. Like, you're better off going to a trade school or doing something in the trades and stuff like that and making money that way is what it is, dude. Because that's the thing, dude. I mean, people always want to, shit on plumbers and other, sort of dirty jobs like that. But when you got, plumbers making fucking six figures, seven figures in some cases, depending on where they're at, dude. Hell, you could be the fucking owner of a plumbing business and stuff like that. You got, 10 people working for you in some, major city in this country or something like that, dude, and you're making millions of dollars a fucking year is what it is, dude. Because again, everybody's got shit. Fucking pipes are always bursting. You never know if you're gonna have a fucking, city contract or something like that to fix the fucking lines and stuff like that, dude. Like, yeah, you're gonna make a fuck ton of cash is what it is, dude. And even in fucking small towns and shit like that, dude, you're still gonna make a bunch of bank. So it is a whole thing. And I feel like in general, one of the biggest issues is that people just want to look down on some jobs and be like, oh no, that's just a fucking, low class, low brow, whatever the case be kind of thing. When in reality, it's like, nah, bro, like these people are making fucking bank. And it's these same people that are willing to like, shit on them from their fucking, air-conditioned offices and then being like, I don't understand how this thing fucking works, etc., etc. And it's like, well, that's because you don't know anything, is what it is, dude. And that's the biggest problem, I think, in general with our country right now, is that you have so many folks who, they want to fuck around and like, shit on someone for being, quote unquote, below them, where in reality, it's going to be those people that are the ones that know how to fucking do things and, maybe know how to like save your ass when the time comes and stuff like that, dude. That's if they want to save your ass, honestly. And I feel like there's like, especially when the grid does finally, collapse here or whatever the case be, like there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to know anything, not know how to fucking, do anything for themselves is what it is. And you're going to have a handful of people out there that are going to be like, yeah, we know how to do this stuff, and we'll teach you how to do this stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And then there'll be some people that'll be like, well, tough shit, dude. You're on your own kind of thing or whatever. And that's like I said before, dude. I think when you look at these people that are living in, most major cities across this country, like they're gone, dude. Like when the shit does hit the fan and stuff like that, they're fucking dead. Like there's no like unless they're able to see it coming, like they know like a specific date or whatever that would come and knock on their door kind of thing is what it is, dude. And they were able to get out of that area, like let's go ahead and say like 3-4 weeks before that, or maybe like even maybe like 2-3 days before that, or something like that, dude. And they were able to be like one of the last people out, is what it is, dude. Now you're gonna be trapped behind enemy lines, and you're gonna be fucking useless, dude, because you're literally gonna be fighting for your life against all kinds of crazy motherfuckers, whether it be cartels, whether it be fucking street gangs, whether it be just random insane people at that point. Hell, it might just be some fucking mama bear and stuff like that trying to save her kids and shit, dude. Thinks you're a fucking threat to her or something like that, even though you might be trying to help her and stuff like that. And, she just fucking claps your ass out of nowhere is what it is, dude. And I feel like that's what happened a lot, honestly. Actually, that was there's a show that came out a couple years ago. It's actually a prequel, I believe, to the series Z Nation. It's called Black Summer, and it was either the first or second episode of that series of season 1. You see almost the exact scenario play out, where it's basically you have some woman and like a young girl who is probably like, I don't know, 10, 12, something like that, and you have her basically with a firearm, like trying to like tell these people to fuck off, essentially is what it is, dude, and be like, yeah, get the hell out of here, like we don't need your help kind of thing or whatever. And then later on, you see the main character people looking at some car driving by, and it's like 3 or 4 dudes in the car and the little girl in the car, and the mother's nowhere to be found. And then they find, I don't know if they find her dead body later on then or not, but yeah, that's exactly what happened in a lot of those cases, dude. You have people like that would be, very easy pickings in a lot of cases, and you would have people, in those kind of scenarios go that route and be, just basically unleash urges, what it is, dude, which is beyond disgusting and fucking, I don't want to get down that road is what it is, dude, because there's no reason to talk about that kind of shit. We don't have to. But yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous anyway. And yeah, unfortunately, it's just a shit show, dude. And like I said, there's no reason at this point, honestly, to really live in a major city, especially if you have just like my thing is, I could see like a reasoning if you're gonna be like very much like a hub kind of thing, and you're like working for like, I don't know, like a major university or something like that. But like if you're just working like a random 9 to 5 or whatever, dude, that you could essentially work like anywhere if you wanted to commute like, a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is, dude, and go work like some burger joint or whatever it is, dude. Like you can do that anywhere across this country, and you'd be in a better place to do it, not in a major fucking metropolitan area is what it is anymore. If nothing else, if you want to move entire states and be able to make, some decent money there is what it is, dude. And my thing of it is, it's like, yeah, people just need to get the hell out is what it is, dude. They need to get the hell out of where they're at right now, if they can, and do what needs to be done to just, save themselves is what it is, really, honestly. Just like they're in Illinois right now, in 105 days, you're going to have the fucking purge basically become legal there on January 1st, 2023, with that bullshit Safety Act that the moron J.B. Fitzner put in place, and they're there now. And again, if you want to talk about people that need to be tried with the crimes against humanity, that fucking guy needs to be done that way as well. Just like Hunkle and fucking Newsom and everybody else like that. Fucking DeWine should be on the list too, by the way. So should Whitmer and a few other people, Kate Brown, Jay Inslee, et cetera, et cetera. Janet Mills out of Maine there. Um, but anywho, so basically what you have is you have this act that was put in place there by Fitzner. It was signed into law the other day that basically allows for anybody tried of like second degree murders and stuff like that to now get bail and all kinds of crazy shit like that, dude. And it's like, what in the actual fuck, man? And not only that, but you can't like trespass people from your private property now. And it's just like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell is happening to our country, honestly? And then you wonder and you realize and you're just like, this shit is all by design. And you're just like, there is no fucking reason for this. Like, why are we even here, kind of thing? And then when you start to realize it's like, this is all Democrat run hellholes, is what it is, dude. Democrat run hell pockets, shitholes, whatever we're going to call them at that point. It's like, yeah, there's a huge fucking problem there. And it's always these kind of people. And the same thing with Fitzner there, dude. He's a fucking leftist mayor, or not leftist mayor, he's leftist governor, is what it is. Obviously, Lori Lightfoot is leftist mayor in Chicago there. So, but anywho, yeah, it's just fucking nuts, dude. It really is, honestly. And the fact that you have all these people that refuse to actually see this shit for what it is and just keep sort of like, towing the fucking corporate line, if you will, instead of just being like, no, you know what, fuck this fucking place. I'm getting the hell out of here, is what it is, dude. And finally they do. And then you end up having like a better society overall than is what it's going to be. I don't know, man. I think, like I said, I think we're in definitely for a weird time ahead right now. I think you're going to see a lot of people do a lot of things that they might not have done normally. And I believe you're going to see a lot of other people who are finally just going to have enough to where it's just going to be a situation of just like, you know what, fuck this kind of shit or whatever. And it really will in a lot of cases be like an every man for himself kind of deal, where it's like, you know what, save yourself, and if you got kids, save the kids kind of thing. And then unfortunately there's going to be a lot of people who don't fucking care, and it'll just be, again, like people look at each other as threats basically, and it's going to be a sad day in this country, honestly, dude. Not to mention, going on that route of things, like there's a book and I've read a couple of times now, and I suggest anybody that hasn't read it yet read it. It's called 1 Second After. It basically discusses, it's a whole thing about like grid down stuff, and it essentially talks about two die-offs within it. The first one happens almost immediately, and this is all the old folks that are completely bedridden, on ventilators, on fucking CPAP machines, on everything like that they would need to basically survive, iron in the lungs, all that shit like that, and so forth and so on, medically induced comas and stuff, all that shit like that. Long-term care facilities would just be fucking morgues, basically, if you look at it like that, because that's what it kind of is, honestly, dude. And yeah, it would be just a giant, like, unfortunately, just like living hellholes, what it is, dude. And so you'd have, a whole bunch of elderly folks and others that are, in bad shape like that can't, fend for themselves, would unfortunately a lot of cases be left to die. And so that would be like your main die off the first go around. And then there'd be a second die off sometime later on in that, which would be, you would have, what am I trying to say now? This would be about 6 months or so into the actual grid down. And it would be all the people that are on like psych meds and stuff like that, or like blood pressure meds that they can't get anymore and stuff like that because they run through their supplies. Like, of course, blood pressure meds and shit like that, it would be something where it's like you're supposed to take like one pill a day or whatever the case, but maybe somebody's been taking like, half a pill a day or a quarter of a pill a day or something like that. And then, of course, in that same time period as well, another thing that people were talking about, I believe it was both the original die off and then the second die offs would be, you would have people overexerting themselves trying to, dig graves and stuff for their dead or whoever it is, loved ones, or just digging a mass grave for like a bunch of people at once or whatever. And unfortunately, you'd have those people that aren't in good physically fit condition just sort of keel over. And even the ones that are in physically fit condition for that matter, dude, like if they, push themselves too hard and stuff like that, they're going to keel over. Not to mention, I think going back to the thing I was mentioning earlier, especially after watching that 5 Days at Memorial series. By the way, if you haven't watched that yet, check that shit out, dude, because there is a woman, she's a real woman in our society named Dr. Anna Poe. She murdered at least a dozen fucking people during Katrina, dude, at some fucking hospital there. This bitch is still a practicing fucking doctor to this day. And not only that, but then she went on to write fucking bullshit legislation, at least in Louisiana, and to submit it to their General Assembly, and it passed unanimously to protect fucking doctors and shit during quote unquote emergencies like that, dude. It's like, fuck that, dude. Genocide, fucking euthanasia, all that shit like that is never fucking okay, dude. You are a fucking democider, bitch. Like, fuck you. Seriously. And my thing is, I don't care how many people this bitch may have saved since then, because she's supposed to be like a throat cancer and stuff like that kind of doctor. I don't care how many people she has actually like, been able to do like medical surgeries on since then and stuff like that, and be able to technically save people's lives and stuff like that, dude. Like, she can never redeem herself for what she did back in 2005, dude. It's irredeemable. What she did, 17 years ago, completely irredeemable, dude. So, anyway, let's see where are we at now. Okay. Going back to the rest of that J.D. Vance article that we were talking about a little bit ago. Vance is quoted as saying, "President may not even know this. Tim Ryan has not one but two books on yoga and meditation," Vance said. Tim Ryan has called to ban gas-powered cars. Tim has voted for the Green New Deal. Vance said, "Who's from California? Tim, it sounds like you are. This is simple. We got to get back to common sense. We've got to stop hiring 87,000 IRS agents. We got to fire those guys and hire some Border Patrol agents." I totally agree with that statement, honestly. See what other kinds of crazy shit's going on right now. Got a few different stories that we're gonna at least headline mention in this episode, actually, of the wargaming. Which, besides that Vance article, you got a bunch of stuff on the side here. You got police victim stabbed playing Pokemon game in San Antonio Park. That's just sad. That's just sad, man. I wonder if that's that Pokemon Go or if it's one of the other ones, like the actual TCG or something like that. They were playing with somebody else, maybe. Oh no, it actually was the Pokemon game, the actual trading card game, at least according to the picture here. So, a man was stabbed in San Antonio Park Saturday morning while playing a Pokemon game, according to police. The stabbing occurred at approximately one. Okay. So, first of all, this is not the morning. This is fucking late Friday night. Literally fucking dead of night, Saturday morning. Stabbed at approximately 1:45 a.m. Well, man says he was playing a Pokemon game at a park when two men approached him. Men proceeded to stab the gamer several times in the upper torso before fleeing on foot. So I'm gonna call bullshit on that one, dude. That is a total fucking lie. Like, I can only assume that what you're really talking about is you were selling drugs, and the drugs are what you called Pokemon game. So, anyway. And of course, we got fucking ass clown Eli, I think is how I pronounce the guy's name, Muriel, who is a fucking complete black supremacist, claiming white people turn violent when they don't politically get their way all the damn time in this country. Says the guy who and his buddies who literally burned down a fucking entire nation in 2020. from every auto parts store in major cities to fucking every mom and pop shop to every fucking corporate chain, to where you had literal fucking black trannies running around. I believe it was Minneapolis, Minnesota area, torching fucking Wendy's. I believe it was a Wendy's, a Burger King, and either a Chick-fil-A or a Long John Silver's on the same fucking block. And it's like, and yet this motherfucker wants to sit there and talk about white people being violent. It's like, no, dude, the only white people that were violent in this country are your fucking Antifa buddies, is what it was, asshole. So, yeah, fuck that fucking guy, seriously, dude. I don't believe that at all. That fucking poll claims most Americans have received at least 3 corona shots. I'm gonna call BS on that fucking poll. Let's see. Then you got Massachusetts deports illegals from Martha's Vineyard to military base. I think we talked about that yesterday in the 2A cast, or not yesterday, but Friday 2A cast, because I keep thinking it's Saturday now. Then you got piece of shit lives with Warren claiming repulsive and cruel to send illegals to Martha's Vineyard. Repulsive and cruel to who? Your fucking white liberal buddies that live there, bitch? Or is it that you have a house there in Martha's Vineyard and you're all pissed because they went to your fucking place too, lady? I think that's what it really is, honestly, you fucking racist piece of shit, Elizabeth Warren. Seriously, these people are some of the worst fucking hypocrites ever, dude. And like I said before, when it comes to people like Warren or Sanders or Klobuchar, fucking, who else is in that one? Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, etc., etc. All those ass clowns should have been thrown out of the U.S. Senate the day they announced their shitty failed presidential bids, dude. So, then of course you got woke mob attacks, Turning Point USA event featuring Tommy Lauren at University of New Mexico. I heard about that. It's pretty fucked up from my understanding. And again, it was typical Antifa and BLM terrorism, dude. Then you got a video. Portland mom discovers homeless person in son's bed. An intruder released next day by liberal DA. And again, this is what I'm talking about when you got the Soros fucking paid DAs there, dude, not doing their fucking job and keeping these pieces of shit locked up. It's just ridiculous. And actually, what's interesting is, because I was watching that video with a few people in the back chat here a little bit ago, the big thing there was you had a woman who was basically in her home. Door apparently was unlocked. This homeless woman walks into her fucking house and then basically proceeds to just take a nap on her son's bed and shit. And it's like, okay, so is that really breaking and entering, or is it more like unlawful entry and like trespassing and stuff like that, dude? And again, this is why you lock your fucking doors in the middle of the day, you idiots. So honestly, like that was like I would say almost a little bit it was kind of on the owner on that one, because again, you never fucking door locked is what it was. Like even having the screen door locked, dude, if somebody's gonna like yank, like of course they're gonna yank like hard enough against it, they're probably gonna break it or whatever, but like at least you like hear the commotion of like somebody's possibly like breaking into your fucking home kind of thing or whatever. Not, oh, let's randomly walk into a fucking room. Oh, hey, husband. Oh, no, it's some other person. What the fuck are you doing in my house? Like, that's basically how that shit went down. It's like, what the hell? You know? Like, dude, like, that's the kind of shit where, like, a smarter person probably would have grabbed a gun and defended themselves from a fucking psychotic lunatic. Because even in the video, the intruder basically grabbed like some random piece of furniture that was in the house and tried to like attack the fucking homeowner with it, dude. And it's like, yeah, does that justify deadly force? Fuck yeah, it does. Fuck yeah, it does. And my biggest issue with all that shit is it's like when you're not gonna have that kind of thing be a deal, man, like this is what's happening with our fucking society, just being a complete shithole in some cases, dude. And why you have these like leftist fucking coastal states and stuff like that now being just a fucking, junkcade is what it is, dude. Of just absolute bullshit is what it is, man. So, anyway, I don't know. I mean, we could talk about what the solutions are to a lot of that stuff, and I think a lot of it is just constitutional carry nationwide, honestly, dude. Stand your ground nationwide. Because, that shit's actually proven to be working now at this point, man, in this country's history. So, anyway. But, Yeah, continuing on with what we were saying earlier, though. So you got other stuff on here. We got obviously Trump holds Save America rally in Ohio. We already know what happened there pretty much. Commuter angrily confronts couple allegedly having engaged. Like, let's see. Commuter allegedly confronts couple engaging in alleged sex act on bus. You don't fuck on the bus, mate. Okay, I gotta hear this one because just the way that they said "mate," it makes me sound like this isn't like Britain or something like that. I don't think this was in America, although it might have been America. Never know. Let's see. Nope, it was Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, so the couple's alleged sex act in the back of a bus was interrupted by a commuter who was disgusted by what he saw. Wild scene was captured on video on a suburban bus route in Melbourne, Australia, according to the local news affiliate there. Said footage begins with one of the passengers scolding the two strangers who were apparently having sex on the bus. "Listen, brother, you don't fuck on the bus, mate," yelled the commuter filming from the front of the bus. One of the strangers engaged in the alleged sex act tries to gain sympathy by claiming he has autism, but the angry commuter has none of it. You don't. I don't care if you. Wait, let's see. I don't care if you are fucking homeless. Don't fuck on the bus, cunt. I don't care if you got autism. It doesn't mean fuck. Should be fuck all on the bus. See, man filming then suggests a couple take their friskiness somewhere else. Get the fuck off and go fuck in the park or something. Have some fucking respect for yourselves. Oh, that's too much, man. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, that's the kind of shit you can usually tell too. When it's like, oh yeah, it's like you fucking say mate or something like that. It's like, nah, bro, that's not America. Let's see. Then we got about Trump Save America. Save America rally here in Ohio. Go ahead and read about that here. As the Trump holds rally in Ohio in support of Republican candidate J.D. Vance. That's Donald Trump, president, is holding a Save America rally in Youngstown, Ohio, Saturday in support of Ohio's Republican Senate candidate J.D. Vance. He was scheduled to speak at 7 p.m. Eastern last night, and of course he did then. Ooh, Jim Jordan was going to be there. Damn, I wish I'd been able to go to that, man. That would have been sweet. Let's see. So you had, let's see, Jim Jordan. You had that ass clown Bill Johnson, who shouldn't even be up for re-election at this point. He should have been beat already, because I think that's going to be the douchebag that's going to unfortunately support. Is going to be my representative then federally. That was also there. And then you had Max Miller, Republican nominee for Ohio's 7th Congressional District, probably going to be a new state rep there. Madison Galigo Gilbert, who I believe was taking on Amelia Sykes here in District 13. I really hope that she beats Sykes' ass in the ground on that one, dude, come November. Because fuck Amelia Sykes, number one. She shouldn't even, again, just like Tim Ryan, she shouldn't even be in these fucking races, dude, because first of all, Amelia Sykes is a black supremacist. That's number one. She hates white people in the state. Number two. Number three, she literally is an anti-gun fucking oath-breaking cunt many times over. Number four, she is an anti-life piece of shit who has literally put through or tried to push through fucking all kinds of pro-abortion legislation and voted no on every piece of pro-life legislation. She has continuously tried to defund the cops. She has continuously basically shit-talked the Republican Party in the state and everything else she can do, man. Taking personal attacks at various state reps, etc., etc. Literally, when they were stripping DeWine's power back in summer of 2021, there's a video from our state house that day, because this is back when they could do their. It was essentially what they were doing was they were trying to pass the amendments and stuff like that to actually deal with emergency powers and stuff like that, and make sure that DeWine couldn't, well, not just DeWine, like any sitting governor is what it is in the future, wouldn't just have the ability to be like, yeah, pandemic is right on thing right now. I can take away your fucking rights as much as I want for as long as I want, kind of thing. And they're like, no, it's going to be restricted to X amount of days, and as soon as this time period hits, like, you got to come back to us. Is what it is then. and actually have like a three branches of government, functionality again is what it is. And so that ended up happening. And her whole thing was basically getting on the mic and like shit talking the Republican Party and being like, "Oh, you're just sad because DeWine won't call you back." And I actually, I straight up called up Speaker Bob Cupp's office that day, and I'm like, "Dude, I don't care if you guys have the votes or not. Fucking toss this bitch out of the General Assembly, dude. Like, do your fucking job as Speaker and throw her out of the fucking General Assembly at this point, dude, over that shit." And then it was like I think it was the next day or a couple days later, you had fucking Stephanie House, who was then a state rep, who's now on the Cleveland City Council. This dumb bitch went on a fucking anti-gun tirade again for like the 18th time and was all shit talking fucking white Ohioans and stuff like that, dude. Because again, every single one of these Democrat black women are black supremacists, dude. I shit you not. Like, you cannot sit here and tell me any of them are not, dude, in this fucking state, because they all are. Like, they're all like totally anti-white. They're all totally fucking like pro-black supremacy bullshit, dude. And everybody here is just sick and tired of it, man. Across the fucking board. Because these are also the same pieces of shit that have broken their oath to office dozens of fucking times over now and aren't being tossed out of fucking office over it, dude. Like, enough is enough of this shit, honestly, dude. Seriously. And then want to sit there and be all like, "Oh no, but I'm totally doing something for Ohioans." It's like, no, you're not, you lying cunt. You haven't done a fucking thing for Ohio, Amelia Sykes. The only thing you've done is line your own fucking pockets, just like your piece of shit father Vernon, who keeps fucking flip-flopping our General Assembly for the past 35 years of his fucking life. By the way, the entirety of your fucking life, lady. And sits there and just keeps going state rep, state senator kind of shit, dude. And actually, when you look back at the seat that Amelia is holding right now that she's termed out of at the end of this year, dude, her mother, and her father have all held that same exact seat, dude. And with the exception of one dude who had it for like a term of 2 years, her family has held that seat for over 30 fucking years in the state, dude. Like, you want to talk about a fucking dynasty, dude? The Sykes family is a political dynasty in the state of Ohio that doesn't need to fucking exist right now, dude. Like, get the fuck out and don't come back is what it is, dude. Seriously. And that's the thing that pisses me off the most, actually. I'm going to go ahead and grab a picture of Amelia Sykes now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm just that pissed off right now. This fucking dumb bitch, dude. So, anyway. Let's grab images right there. There, where are we at now? Do screen share again. Yeah, every single one of these pictures is of that fucking lunatic. Basically, her and the glasses are probably the best one, because that's usually how she looks and stuff, is all these glasses pictures. This idiot ass clown in the bow tie, that was her fucking father. That's the guy I was talking about a minute ago, is Vernon Sykes. Both of these people, by the way, belong in prison the rest of their damn lives just because of the fact that they have fucking pushed through a bunch of anti-gun legislation in the past couple of years. And you want to talk about my 2A advocacy in this fucking state, dude, and my Second Amendment activism and everything else like that, leading to the constitutionalist that I am now, it's because of these fucking clowns, dude. Because they're the ones that were pushing for red flag laws, universal background checks, fucking magazine bans, all kinds of other bullshit. And it's like, no, go fuck yourself, you pieces of shit. And I'd like to point something out too, by the way. Amelia Sykes did not win her primary. She was the only fucking Democrat in the primary. Madison Gilbert beat like 7 other people in the Republican primary to actually secure that nomination, dude. Amelia hasn't done shit. She put her fucking name on the ballot, dude, as a Democrat, and she won an uncontested primary is what it was. And this is exactly why these dumb cunts shouldn't even be on the fucking ballot at all, dude. Because it's like, you didn't beat anybody. You didn't beat anybody to actually get to the general election, bitch. Madison did. So, anyway. Needless to say, I'm a little pissed. I'm a little testy right now. And rightfully so. Mostly because I keep seeing dumbass fucking pro Sykes stupid fucking ads every day, just like the ass clown Tim Ryan. There really needs to be a law in the books to stop these fucking idiots from being able to take out like fucking $10 million in ad buys and stuff like that, to where you have like every fucking commercial break is like, vote for Amelia Sykes, who's claims to be about fucking families and fucking people's rights and wages and all this other bullshit that she has never fucking done a damn thing for in the state of Ohio, dude. For any Ohioan. There is not one piece of legislation that's gone through our General Assembly right now, dude, even being introduced, that has her fucking name on it, that is even talking about job creation or fucking wages or anything else like that, dude. She is a lie. No, wait, I'm sorry. There is one, and it's about raising the fucking minimum wage and putting the burden on fucking taxpayers to pay the fucking difference now is what it is, dude. So yeah, fuck this fucking cunt, dude. She is every fucking establishment Democrat ever, dude, is what it is. Fuck her fucking father, fuck all of them, dude. I'm so sick and tired of it, dude. Anyway, going back to the main page here and see if there's anything else we want to talk about or not. Because I'm not so sure that there is. I think I might have blown my load on that one, dude. On that, you know. Anyway. So let's see. Yeah, then we got White House dipshits whip corporate media with cruel GOP narrative on migrants in Martha's Vineyard, because of course they fucking do. Let's see. We got former UNC student sues woke university claiming racial discrimination. Actually, let's go ahead and read that one. That sounds pretty interesting, since we are in a wargaming 2022. And we are wargaming for what's going to happen here in the midterms, which hopefully we can actually get to those damn things, because I'm not even sure anymore, dude. I'm not so sure they're not going to pull some October surprise fucking, oh, by the way, World War III is officially kicking off now. No more elections for the foreseeable future. Ha 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 ha. Democrats control the fucking things at a federal level, and most state general assemblies are actually Republican controlled now, which is good. So it will continue to be such. Yeah, we got former UNC Chapel Hill student. Sorry, I'm actually getting tired now. Sues woke university claiming racial discrimination. Said the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is being sued by a black former student who is alleging that facility members and the business school engaged in racial discrimination and that she faced retaliation after she reported them. Interesting. It said Rose Brown says in her lawsuit that she was pushed out of UNC Chapel Hill's business program after she reported racial discrimination on the school's faculty members, according to a report by NBC News. So the fact, like, this is the thing, right? The fact that you have, like, mainstream media picking that shit up, being NBC and stuff like that, dude, these are kind of like the hate hoaxes that we always see in America, where it's basically like a week or two, a month later, whatever it's going to be, it turns out that it was the person, like, you know, beating themselves in the head with a fucking boot or something kind of thing. And I feel like this is kind of like, might be one of those things, honestly, where she's just bullshitting them is what it is, dude, and just being like, no, I'm going to sue for a fucking payday because some bullshit happened and she actually got, like, you know, kicked out on her own accord because she was just a crappy student or something like that. That's what it is, dude. But anyway, as I said here, it said 28-year-old former student claims UNC Chapel Hill faculty at the school's Keenan Flagger Business School belittled her competence, scolded her after she was allegedly sexually assaulted. Again, I'm going to need actual verified proof of that with, you know, test kits and shit like that. That's what it'll be, man. Or whatever it is, you know, some kind of evidence there. Can't take their word for it anymore, dude, after all the Me Too bullshit. And encouraged her to, quote, underpay black research participants. Really? Again, I'm going to need, like, actual fucking you having, like, audio proof of that with a recorder or something, lady. Damn. You know, seriously. Anyway. I'm never gonna bother reading the rest of this because it sounds like a bunch of BS, honestly, dude. Again, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if this went nowhere. Let's go ahead and read the comment section on that one anyway. Let's see. This person said, yet another truant black woman claims imaginary hardships and screams racism, hoping for some jackpot justice. Yeah, sounds about right. Her story reeks of an insulated expectation of deserving special treatment. She was kicked out of the PhD program because she is rude and disrespectful, not because she is female and not because she is black. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that, honestly, dude. And that's what it is, unfortunately. Like, when you look at what's happening in our society in the past, like, couple generations, it really is, like, entitlement shit, dude. It's like entitlement generation of a bunch of worthless ass cunts is what it is. And being like, well, I'm a fucking da-da-da-da, and I deserve special treatment because blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't, dude. You deserve a kick in the fucking face just like everybody else is what it is, man. Not literally, obviously, figuratively, is what I'm saying on that one. Just to be clear on that, dude. You know. But, I don't know. I mean, maybe a literal kick to the face will help some of these people. Because, I mean, there are so many that just need to get popped in the mouth, honestly, sometimes, dude. And I'm talking about everybody across the board. Like, the real problem with people shit talking people and fucking, just being a bunch of coward ass bitches and stuff like that is because they can't get their ass whooped, is what it is, man. And, of course, you can shit talk strangers over the internet, but you can't actually show up to their, areas or states or whatever the case be and actually fight them for real. So forth and so on. That basically goes back to something that happened with me a few months back, is what it is, dudes, for anybody wondering on that one. So, anyway, then we got suspect indicted for child porn, selling video of man performing sex act with dog. Jesus fucking, what the hell is happening to our fucking country anymore, dude? God damn, dude. God damn. Then we got video Democrat Robert Tells slurs during 2020 arrest. I'm a public official. I think that was the guy that killed that reporter the other day, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that one, though. Okay, so apparently that sick fucking child molesting piece of shit that they were talking about in another article was a dude from North Carolina who had bestiality charges dismissed after he was indicted in federal court for child porn stuff. Seriously. At what point do we just start having one strike laws against pedophiles in this country and just start putting these fuckers down permanently, dude? I mean, that seriously. Like, I'm sorry, but the second that you fucking do stuff to kids, dude, like, you don't need to be alive anymore, is what it is. And I'm being straight about that one, man. Like, there's absolutely no reason for those people to be around anymore after that. So, anywho. Let's see. Going back to the other article, though, it said video shows Democrat official Robert Tells, accused of murdering investigative reporter this month, being arrested in 2020 in Las Vegas, then claiming I am a public official. And that's the thing, dude. Like, it's just like the same thing with all these Democrats. I mean, you had multiple things here happen in the past like few years and stuff with other Democrats in other states. I mean, you had, I believe it was Cedric Denson here in Ohio. Although it might have been, I'm thinking it was Denson, but it might have been Terrence Upchurch. I can't remember which one of the two guys it is, honestly. My mind always blanks out which one it actually is. I'm pretty sure it's Denson, but I could be wrong about that one. But anyway, it was one of those two guys. They're both Democrats. And whichever one it was, basically got busted for drugs multiple times in the state of Ohio, and yet is still a sitting state rep. Then you had a woman who is a Democrat state rep in Michigan in the past couple of years, getting like I believe she had like a DUI like previous to that or some other like arrest charge over that was kind of like swept under the rug is what it was. And then she had a fucking like massive like 4 or 5 times the legal limit DUI where she was literally driving on like bare rims and shit like that down in Detroit and shit like that, dude, until the cops finally were able to stop her. And the only reason that their Speaker of the House even found out about it was because of the mainstream media's story and shit, dude, because Nobody bothered to inform that dude who's like third in line of succession there in Michigan of the fact that you had one of their state reps being arrested and should have been tossed out of office right then and there is what it is, dude. Why? Because she's a Democrat. It's like the same thing with motherfucker here in Ohio because he's a fucking Democrat. Just like the same asshole there in Las Vegas because he's a fucking Democrat, dude. Just like why Hillary Clinton's still not in prison to this day because she was a fucking Democrat. Still is, by the way. Even though she literally destroyed evidence. You know, hammers. Let's go hammer time on the fucking 32,000 emails and stuff like that, dude. The hard drives. It's a bunch of shit, it really is, man. But anyway. Go ahead and check one more time here. See if there's anything else I want to discuss here or not. Yeah, this might be the story we leave off on for the day then, for the good story of the day. Got Colorado Sheriff office finds dog lost for months with the help of a drone. That's awesome. That's heartwarming. Just making sure there's nothing else I want to discuss here. Oh, wait, here we go. This got an exclusive about Vance talking about that bitch-ass motherfucker Tim Ryan's comments. I actually want to hear this one. Actually, there's a couple different stories here now about various things relating to the rally last night and stuff like that with Trump. So I do actually want to read what Vance said here, hear what he said here. Let's make sure that we don't have anything else we want to talk about. Yeah, let's see. Media elites outraged as migrants get free trip to elite resort. Kamala Harris has spent more time in Martha's Vineyard than border. Yeah, then you should be sending it right to her fucking house, dude, if that be the case. Sending every single one of these fuckers to her house, dude. Straight up, man. Straight up. Let's see here now. Got actually, I'm screen sharing this real fast. This is actually probably more in the Oathbreakers category, but so be it here. You got Creeper Teacher, former Florida Christian school teacher accused of twerking on male student at prom. She ain't even that good looking, man. She's really not. Says a former Florida Christian school teacher was accused on Tuesday of allegedly twerking on 18-year-old male student at prom in April. Okay, so at least it was legal dude then, if that be the case. Again, that's one of those weird like gray areas of shit where it's like, yeah, you can't, fuck the students or whatever, even though they're like of age at that point kind of thing or whatever. But in reality, if that kid was like graduated, they'd probably hook up anyway. So anyway, there is that weird thing. But either way, it's like, whatever, dude. It says she was also accused of pressuring him to drink alcohol at the same event. Julie Hoover, 39, a former teacher at the Point of Grace Christian School in Perry, is facing a misdemeanor charge of contributing to the delinquency of a minor and a second-degree felony charge of an authority figure soliciting or engaging in lewd conduct with a student. That's interesting. So that does bother me on that first charge, though, because it said about her contributing to delinquency of a minor, because it says the guy's 18, though. So what the fuck, dude? Or was he only 17 at the time of that prom in April, is what it is, maybe? That would make sense. Let's see. So investigators allege that Hoover pressured the senior student to drink liquor at the prom. At one point, the then teacher forced the straw from the cup of her alcohol beverage into his mouth. So Hoover had alcohol at the event due to the beverages being placed in a back room for staff for later, after the students had left. Student also told investigators Hoover was, quote, twerking on him on the dance floor, which prompted some students to get in between him and then teacher. 18-year-old noted that it made him feel uncomfortable. Okay, that makes more sense then. So he was like, "Nah, I'm not having this bitch. Like, you're too old for me. Nah, no, I don't want none of yous." Is what it is, and that's the problem, though, dude. It's these chicks that like the problem with this kind of woman is being, almost 40 and stuff like that. She was probably one of these chicks that was like mediocre as fuck in high school herself and stuff like that, dude. Maybe not that good looking, whatever the case be. And then she sort of blossomed in her 20s and sort of went from like ugly duckling stage to like decent looking and stuff like that in like the early 20s, maybe, late 20s and stuff like that. And then she thinks she's hot shit in her like late 30s is what it is, dude. So anyway, continues on here and um, said Hoover had been charged in June for sexting the 18-year-old male student and attempting to sneak him into her home while her husband was at work. So she's literally trying to fuck around. Like, what a fucking cunt, dude. Like, this is some Mary Kay Letourneau level shit, dude, where it's like, oh, I have a whole fucking family, but let me go ahead and fuck one of my students anyway, kind of thing. Except in that case, that Vallejo kid, I believe, was like 13 or 14 at the time, maybe. Or he was even 12 or 13. I can't remember. I want to say it was 13, maybe, or so at that point. But then again, like, if you look at the movie that they based that shit around, like, they portrayed him in the movie as if he was like, more into it than I think Eva was and stuff. And then, of course, they had that whole relationship after the fact, had a couple kids there. And then I want to say he divorced her or something like that before her death, is what it was then. So, and then he even talked about, like, a few years ago and stuff about how he was basically sort of forced into the sexual situation with Mary Kay Letourneau then. So, I really think it was some child grooming shit there is what it was, dude, with her ass. And it seems like it's like that with a lot of teachers now. And that's the one thing that was uncut. Like, that's the only good thing that was about 2020 lockdowns and stuff, dude, is that you had so many parents being able to come out of the woodwork and stuff like that and find out what their kids were actually being taught in these fucking school systems and shit, dude. And found out the pedo shit that was going on in these school systems and stuff like that, dude. To where you can actually have parental rights bills be introduced into legislation and stuff like that now. And hopefully become state laws then. So, anyway. Let's see, continuing on. It said, yeah, let's see. So the chick was charged in June when she was sexting the kid. It is unknown whether the two separate charges involve the same student and an official from that Christian school said that they were aware of the additional allegations against Hoover. Said Hoover is no longer employed at the school, according to the whole thing there. She shouldn't be employed at all, dude. She should have been stripped of her teaching license forever, is what it is after that kind of shit, dude. So, again, fucking ridiculous. But, anyway. Let me see here. I'm trying to find the specific articles that we're going to read about right now for JD Vance specifically. So, got this first one here, which is the Breitbart exclusive video where Vance was talking about Tim Ryan's literal fucking call to murder of like half of this fucking country, basically. This is exclusive JD Vance on Tim Ryan's calling to, quote, kill and confront MAGA movement. This is really unprecedented. Honestly, I'm sorry, dude. Like, Vance needs to grow a pair and be like, Tim Ryan needs to be thrown out of this fucking race entirely, dude. Like, just straight up call in the General Assembly at this point, dude. For real. So the Ohio Republican Senate candidate J.D. Vance spoke to Breitbart Saturday about the tremendous political double standard that exists. His comments came after Democrat opponent Tim Ryan called to, quote, kill and confront supporters of Donald Trump's and MAGA movement, and noted that Ryan and other Democrats who are using this divisive rhetoric are essentially saying Americans become an enemy of the United States government Americans become an enemy of the United States government if they vote for the wrong person. No, that's exactly what's happening, buddy. Like, it's not essentially that it's happening, it's fucking happening, dude. And that's the entire point. It's not only that, dude. You are literally having these fuckers. I believe truthfully, dude, piece of shit Tim Ryan, little asshole in the bubble right there. I believe this motherfucker is literally trying to incite violence at this point against people like myself to get us to getting, not like me personally or whatever, but like anybody is what it would be to basically, do physical violence on him and stuff like that. So it can be like, see, Boogeyman told you it's in the closet, bro. All these Trump supporters are violent fucking white supremacists and shit like that. And it's like, no, dude, you literally fucking called for political violence against the rest of us, dude. Your ass doesn't need to be in the U.S. Congress anymore, and you don't need to be in the U.S. Senate anymore, and you should be in fucking jail for this shit, dude. And like I said, what fucking piece of shit Tim Ryan did, dude, is even worse than what got me federally swatted 3 years ago. Like, I did less than what this fucker did, and I got a fucking knock on my door from the feds, dude. And yet this son of a bitch right here on the fucking left in the bubble is still a fucking sitting congressman. Like, what the fuck? And not only sitting congressman, is still able to run for U.S. Senate right now, dude. It's a bunch of bullshit entirely, dude. Anyways, the rest of this article said this week, Tim Ryan took the divisive rhetoric against MAGA movement espoused by Biden a step further, stating that Americans must, quote, kill and confront the movement. Vance first pointed out the great hypocrisy on the left, imagining what the news cycle would look like if he said the same thing about Democrats or Biden supporters. It said, quote, New York Times would be writing a story about the Trump rally today, or not be writing a story about Trump rally today, they would be writing a story about me being a violent extremist who is trying to get my political opponents assassinated. Exactly, dude. And that's what I'm fucking saying. And it's not even that he's trying to get political opponents assassinated. Tim Ryan is trying to do these things. It's that Tim Ryan is trying to get Americans assaulted and fucking murdered, dude. It's like Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like the shit that Tim Ryan pulled the other day, he might as well just said, go grab a baseball bat and beat some fucking MAGA hat wearing dude to death. Like, that would be the fucking equivalent of what he said, honestly, dude. Because what this motherfucker did and what he said is pretty much a direct call for violence, dude. Kill and confront MAGA movement, dude. That is a direct call for violence, period. And the fact that he is still a sitting congressman, the fact that he is still allowed to be in this fucking political race for the U.S. Senate seat, dude, is bullshit. It is time for the Ohio General Assembly to get off its fucking fat ass collectively and do their fucking job and remove this cocksucker from the fucking ballot entirely, dude. And if that means that some third-party candidate is going to be against Vance, so be it, dude. But it doesn't need to be bitch-ass Tim Ryan in the fucking Democrat Party, dude. Hell, if there's another fucking Democrat, even one of the bitches that Tim Ryan beat in the fucking primary and stuff like that, dude, if they would want to jump into the General Assembly race, that's fucking fine too, even. But no, this motherfucker, Tim Ryan, little dickless ass wipe in the red bubble, doesn't need to be in this fucking race anymore, dude, because he doesn't need to be a fucking sitting congressman anymore either. He needs to be in jail. So, anyway. Let me see where I'm at now. Alright, yeah, Vance said about if he had said the same shit, it would be New York Times talking about him being a violent extremist trying to get political opponents assassinated. So, first of all, let's just take stock of the double standard of the media. The fact that they would completely lose their minds when Republicans said this stuff. It said, but what is perhaps more stunning, Vance said, is the fact that his opponent has tried to posture as some sort of moderate Republican or even a conservative Republican. So he talks about how he agreed with Trump on this or on that issue, but he says that he believes these things. So he's trying to posture on this like conservative mega guy in his TV commercials, and yet when he's unscripted, he lets loose and says we need to kill and confront this radical movement, Vance said, calling Tim Ryan an unbelievable fraud. Yes, he is. Let's see. So what an unbelievable thing to talk about or talk out both sides of your mouth within a week to run TV commercials on one hand saying that you support all the things Trump Trump's policies, and then to say that the movement needs to be confronted and killed. I don't know how anyone can do that and look at themselves in the mirror, but I'm not a Democrat politician, so I don't have to do that, Vance said, discussing how Democrats do this often, insulting half the country. Like I said, man, I really think at this point, I believe truthfully, Tim Ryan, Maxine Waters, etc., dude, are trying to stoke the fucking flames to incite violence at this point, to where they can then be like, oh, but we didn't do the incitement of violence. It was totally these radical right wingers that then attacked our asses and shit. And it's like, no, you fucking literally said, go to the gasoline station, confront them at the gasoline station, or eating dinner, or anything else like that. It's like, fuck you, you fucking old cunt, Maxine, fucking Jerry Brown, fucking James Brown ass looking bitch. I was gonna say Jerry Brown ass looking bitch. Nah, Jerry Brown, that guy's a fucking clown ass motherfucker too, though, dude. He's another asshole Democrat, fucking ex governor of California for that piece of shit Newsom. By the way, I'd like to point something out with Jerry Brown's governorship there in California. When Jerry Brown was governor of California, every piece of anti-gun legislation that was put on the books in California during his governorship was done and written by then Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom. So, anyway, continuing on with this, though. Let's see. Yeah, it's Vance discussing Democrats insulting half the country. It said, quote, we disagree with one another, but you don't have to have the leader of the country attacking half the country because they voted for the wrong person, explaining that Trump or other notable Republicans did not do this to Hillary Clinton voters. No, they didn't, dude. But Hillary tried to do it with Trump voters, though. Y'all remember the basket of deplorable shit, dude? I do. That's why I voted for Trump in the primaries back in 2020. Or back in 2016. Voted him for actual presidency in the 2020 election, though. Let's see. It said, quote, that's exactly what Biden is doing. Really unprecedented and think it's pretty dangerous. Effectively, what they're trying to do is say if you voted for the wrong person, you have become on the outside looking in on your own government. You become an enemy of the United States government, and that's pretty ridiculous given how many people who voted for Trump in 2016 or 2020 serving the military have their kids serve the military, actually do a lot of the jobs that keep America running and working on time. Vance said, deeming all this part of the, quote, Tim Ryan playbook. And of course, you got picture of shady ass cunt bitch Tim Ryan there. Fucking piece of shit. That was from May 3rd, 2022, by the way, in Columbus, Ohio. Let's see, is it Tim Ryan waits to go on stage to speak to supporters after the polls closed on the primary election day. Yeah, sack of fucking dog shit is what he is, dude. Let's see. He's a progressive Democrat, always votes at the left wing. He's not a Joe Manchin guy. Fuck Joe Manchin, dude. Like, he's just as bad, man. Like, what the fuck, Vance? Like, I'm gonna call JD Vance on that shit. Like, fuck Joe Manchin too, bro. That dude's wife is literally in bed with the fucking big pharma companies, dude. He makes millions of fucking dollars a year in insider trading to big pharma companies, dude. Fuck his ass. Not to mention Joe Manchin was one of the bitch ass motherfuckers who literally voted for the anti-gun legislation, including red flag crap after Uvalde, dude. That can be proven to be a fucking false flag at this point. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, Vance said, man, Tim Ryan was not a Joe Manchin guy. Where you at least have a doubt in your mind about whether he's going to bend the knee to Biden or Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer. Yeah, no, he's going to bend the fucking knee, dude. Always. Said always does exactly what they tell him to do, meaning Tim Ryan. Pointing at Tim Ryan's far left-wing voting record. It's all made up, all a big joke that's meant to trick the people of Ohio into electing one of the most radical members of Congress in the United States Senate. Vance added, good news for me and the bad news for Tim Ryan is that we in Ohio are not the idiots that he thinks we are, and we're not letting him pull the wool over our eyes. We're not going to let him pull this. Like I said, if Vance had been smart, he would have called for Tim Ryan's immediate removal from this fucking Senate race, dude. I think that's the one thing he should have done he didn't do, unfortunately. Then we got another exclusive. We got GOP campaign chief Tom Elmer. Crime is through the roof. Will play a huge role in November. Obviously, that's all the Democrat hell pockets that have defunded the cops and everything else like that. So, that dude's the chairman of the National Republican Congressional Committee. Declared that crime is through the roof and that it will play a huge role in the upcoming midterm elections during his recent appearance on Prep Radio Saturday. So, at the end of the day, I'll put it in terms like this: you don't know what the jury, the voters, are going to decide in November. I do know that they're going to return the majority to Republicans, but how broad and how deep that is, we'll leave that for them to tell us. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lot, honestly, dude. I think you're going to see a lot. I think you're going to see a huge flip, unfortunately. The pendulum's going to swing, and like I said before, dude, I'm just sick and tired of the two-party system we have in place right now. You need to have 40, 50, 100 political parties, dude, honestly. It doesn't need to be rhino versus, or it doesn't need to be, elephant versus jackass / donkey. It needs to be everything across the board, dude. Throw the hedgehog in there. Pretty sure that's what libertarian parties is. Throw whatever the hell the Green Party's symbolization is. Hell, give my fucking internet libertarian party a fucking say and shit, dude, and we can get stuff done. Constitutionalist party. Hell, even throw the Communist Party in there, Stop having these Democrats call themselves Democrat Socialists and just have them go full-blown Communist Party at this point, dude. At least then they'd be admitting the fucking truth to the rest of us then. So, anyway. We got a third exclusive here that I do want to read, but I'm not going to screen share, though. It said exclusive. This one really pisses me off. J.D. Vance says New York Times lied. He is excited to rally with President Trump last night. Good on him, dude. I'm going to see if I can find that video and watch it, actually, after I finish up here, because it does sound pretty cool. Actually, there's another one here. We got Donald Trump slams militant left-winger Tim Ryan for, quote, kill MAGA comments. Said President Trump slammed Tim Ryan for saying Ohio voters need to kill and confront the MAGA movement, calling Ryan a militant left-winger during a Save America rally in Ohio on Saturday. Said Trump urged Ohio voters to support J.D. Vance instead of Tim Ryan, quote, the far-left Democrat phony running for U.S. Senate. It said Trump noted that Tim Ryan is running on I love Donald Trump policy, but called the Ohio congressman out for voting in lockstep with Biden, Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer 100% of the time. I also like to point something out, too, that nobody ever talks about, and Trump should have actually brought up that point as well, dude. Tim Ryan literally walked out of the State of the Union during Trump's administration, dude, while Trump was delivering the State of the Union. That is who Tim Ryan is, dude. And like I said before, bitch-ass motherfucker Tim Ryan, who is only in office because his fucking shithole fucking district is the exact same goddamn seat that fucking cunt Amelia Sykes is trying to run for right now, dude. That's the only reason she's able to run for that fucking seat right now, dude. Because if she had not, if Tim Ryan had not run for the U.S. Senate, he would have run for re-election in the 13th Congressional District and would have had to fight Amelia Sykes in the fucking primary, dude. To which more than likely, she wouldn't even fucking ran in the primary then. She would have been like, nah, Tim, this is your seat here. Go ahead and take it back for another one, bro. And then ran for something else, then is what it is. But the entire point I'm trying to make is it's a bunch of crap, dude. And when you have that whole seat flip blue because of the fucking shithole city of Akron, that is nothing more than a Democrat hell pocket run by that fucking cunt Dan Horrigan, who literally jerked off fucking dickhead motherfucking, what's his name's fucking family, that piece of shit Jaden Walker, who got himself killed because he was trying to fucking pull guns on people and shoot at cops and shit. In his little fucking Pusheisty mask in the middle of fucking dead summer, 80 fucking degree heat temperatures and stuff like that. And this motherfucker's wearing around a mask in the middle of the fucking night looking like a fucking fake ass mall ninja. It's like, yeah, dude, that guy was doing some criminal shit that night. That's what it was. That's what got him really fucking clapped, is what it was, dude. So, anyway. Continuing on with the rest of this article, though, it said Trump also called Tim Ryan out for falsely campaigning as a Trump allied candidate, despite the pro-Democrat voting record in the House. Said, people call me, Tim Ryan did a commercial. I think he really likes you. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like me, and I don't like him. He's been terrible, Trump said. Tim Ryan is a militant left-winger who is lying to your face, is actually as though he's my friend on policy, pretending to be a moderate so he can get elected and betray everything you believe in. Said Trump pointed out that Tim Ryan voted more than Biden than, Tim Ryan voted more than Biden than he did, or voted more with Biden than he did with Trump when Trump was in office. So basically what he's saying is like he went in lockstep with Democrats, essentially. Quote, he is not a moderate, he's a radical left, 100% voted with these Biden disaster policies. Tim Ryan pretends to be for Trump, but when I was president, he was only voted with us 16% of the time, and these are great policies for Ohio, Trump said. And over the last 2 years, Ryan has voted with Biden, Pelosi, and every single time. It doesn't matter on what. It doesn't matter how bad it is. He votes with them every single time. Said Trump then criticized Ryan for saying, you've got to kill and confront the MAGA movement. Said he recently called for his supporters to kill the MAGA movement. Then he said, oh, that's not playing well in Ohio. Let's end that. He wanted to kill. Did you see that? See that? We have to kill MAGA, Trump said. Now he's saying that it's fine if I say we'd like to raise your voice a little bit to the radical left. He's treasonous. It's treasonous. It's horrible. Oh, he's such a bad person. No, he voted to, he wanted to, and he said it very strongly. Kill MAGA, Trump added. Exactly, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, again, how is Tim Ryan still in this fucking race? How is he still in fucking office? Why is he not in jail? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Pretty sure calling for fucking political violence against anybody is terrorism, by definition. Seriously, let's go look up fucking terrorism real quick. Pretty sure Tim Ryan committed terrorism this week, dude. Like, by definition. Terrorism, the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against citizens, and the pursuit of political aims. Yes, Tim Ryan is a fucking terrorist. Go ahead and screen share that just so everybody can know exactly what I'm showing here. Right there. Definition. Terrorism. Unlawful use of violence and intimidation. AKA kill and confront MAGA movement. Especially against citizens, aka the American people, in the pursuit of political aims. Why is Tim Ryan still a fucking free man and not being brought up on terrorism charges? It's fucking bullshit, dude. Toss this fucking cocksucker in an Ohio prison, dude, for the rest of his damn days. And let's move on with our lives after that. And it's really as simple as that, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this Wargaming 2022, and I'll see you all in the next video on this channel.